Hello. Audio check. Are you there? Well, I'm here. I have a cold, so you can hear. Achoo! Yeah, anyway. Welcome to the CNC Garage, eller cncgarasjen på norsk. I'm based in Norway, so the name comes from a garage in Norwegian called garasjen. And it has a CNC machine, that one. And it also has a laser cutter, and that looks like this. Well, sorry, it's behind me somewhere. It's over there. That's the laser cutter, alright? So today I'm going to do some testing for a customer. I have a box full of rack end plates. Like, I just taped it together. I have another one over here. So these are black painted 19-inch rack end plates, 2 units high, and the customer wants to have an engraved logo of some kind on the faceplate. So let's see if we can manage this. I have really not tested doing that type of work on the CO2 laser cutter before, so I'm not entirely sure it can be done, but we have to test, right? The best laser cutter to use to engrave metal is a fiber laser, and a fiber laser cutter is very different in the wavelength from the CO2 laser. But plan B will always be to use the CNC machine in that room instead, and basically just engrave it in the traditional way. But first we want to test and see if it works on the laser. So fire it up. Come on then. It's a lot of buttons today. I already preloaded the logo. I'm not sure if I can share the screen. It looks like that. It says something in Norwegian. Some of you might know it. I will not comment any further on that. So I did a test in MDF just to make sure that it looked alright. Now the real test starts, because it's really hard to see if it actually will engrave through the paint or not. You just have to test. It either works or doesn't, right? And there is a possibility that the laser actually bounces back through the metal and up to the roof. So just to be sure, I'm going to place another sheet of wood above. So if some light does get reflected, it will hit that little MDF sheet first before it hits the roof. You never know, right? Well, there goes nothing. Well, that was definitely nothing. I got an error message from my laser. So my machine started complaining about something. So apparently, I'm just gonna wait until that noise stops. There we go. I got a new error message on my laser. Haven't seen that before. Hi Leb, nice to see you. By the way, I was at the International Broadcast Convention in Amsterdam the entire last week, almost. And I watched a conference about esports. That should interest you. We can talk more about that later. They did a esport demonstration, and all of the big players in esports actually talked a lot about how they do it. But let's get back to that later. I just need to find out what's all the fuss about. Insufficient buffer distance or something. Oh, mobile test stream setup. That sounds fun. What are you using to do the mobile streaming? You're like a Raspberry Pi or something, or small Intel computer or anything else? Electricity, come on then. Why is it giving me this message? Full car battery, 230 volt inverter. How big is the inverter? Like 100 watt or like 1000 watt or something? Small Lenovo, USB capture card. Yeah, sounds like a nice setup. And the Sony is a nice choice on cameras. September 2019. Just need to fix this and I'll get back to you. Sorry. 1 kilowatt continuing. Oh, that's really nice. Was it expensive or? But the Lenovo computer should be able to run 12 volt directly, so you're basically kind of losing 80% converting to 230 volt and then losing 20% when you're converting back to 12 volt in the power supply. If you could just skip the whole inverter, that should work better for you. Just make sure you have some fuses and maybe some capacitors to clean up the noise. Yeah, true sine wave, yeah. Get it. They are expensive. Oh, so the Lenovo computer runs on 19 volts? Yeah. You should really look into trying to convert from a DC to DC directly. I'm really sorry, but I guess I should not be really talking that much today because I have a nasty cough. So I'll tell you more in a little bit. I just need to get this working. Thank you for that. That almost didn't make any noise. I just need to fix this before I can go back to talking about stuff. Sorry. There's always something, right? While getting in there, slowly. Where did my auto switching go? Advanced scene switcher. I was really thinking about making some pan tilt rigs for my USB cameras, and then probably like using MQTT as a protocol for sending pan tilt positions to all of the heads, and then making Node-RED a platform for both automatic scene switching and positioning of the cameras. So we can basically have one camera do a lot of positions between when it's on and not, like a traditional broadcast solution. Would be cool. Just basically an indication if something will move during the cutting. I will see it easier. Well, that was dark. Well, let's get this testing started. not at OBS 24 yet. I guess I should change. What's new with the OBS? Is there anything worth considering, or just turn off the internal laser noise? Doesn't look like it was able to burn through all of the paint. So we'll try a stronger setting. More power, less speed, I guess. So, I will be tweaking some settings on the laser software, and I will be able to talk. So, say hello in the chat if you're watching. I am streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Mixer, Twitch, and what's the last one? I don't remember. Sorry. I have a cold and I'm trying to get something to work, so I will be back and forth. But I will be scaling the logo down a little bit now, just to have a smaller test area. And let's run it more powerful, and yeah, let's do that first before we go slower. So IBC was interesting. One of the most interesting seminars I went to was space on the big screen. That was they talked about filming space movies, like sci-fi movies, like Gravity and all the other Ad Astra and all of the other stuff. How it is to work, how it is to make movies for the cinema. When you have that, you know very little about what's really going on out in space, and you don't know how flames actually work. If you have oxygen, you will be able to burn stuff, right? But if you don't have gravity, well, what happens to the flames? How do they perform? We have a lot of simulations about that, but the only reference the people that made the Gravity movie had to making flames in 0